Okay, I just got to explain these shelves that are behind me a little bit. Not that I really had a plan or a true vision on what I was going to do, but I did look up inspiration on Pinterest and found these like boutique-y shops that had really minimalistic shelving, fun things that were displayed on them. And I just thought, oh my gosh, they would be perfect in my art room. So first off, we decided, me and my girls, we decided to go to Home Depot. So I knew I needed some plywood and some 2x4s, maybe even the smaller 2x2s. I think they're 2x2s. Maybe they're 1x1s. I'll get that written out for you, but I knew I had to grab some of those stuff. So I took the girls with me and we headed straight to Home Depot because I know that they will cut the plywood for me. I don't have a table saw and I just don't, oh, they kind of freak me out. So I don't use the table saws. And Home Depot will cut those for me, right? So we headed there and I had the girls help me pick out like the straightest boards and the most perfect patterned plywood so that everything looks super cute. And we headed back to the cutting area and lo and behold, the cutting machine was busted. We couldn't use it that day. It was so annoying. So I had to, put all the wood back that we had just gathered up. And then we decided to head to Lowe's and hopefully, crossing our fingers, their cutting machine was working, which luckily it was. So we checked on that first. We walked in the store and we're like headed straight back to the cutting area, and it was working. So we gathered up all the plywood, all of the 2x4s, making sure they're straight and lovely and gorgeous for our project. And that took some effort, took some true effort, but we did it. And I was very happy that my girls were there to help me with it. It was really fun to work with them on that. So when we came home, when we were at Lowe's, they did cut the plywood for us, and I had them cut it 12 inches. 1, 2, 3, there's 4 shelves. So I was able to cut that plywood into 4 sections. So I only had to get one like 4x8 piece of plywood. And it's nice, they cut it right at 12 inches for me. And I don't know, you could double check me on it, but I'm pretty sure they don't go below 12 inches of cutting. I know they used to, because I did like a shiplap wall many years ago, and they would cut it for me for 6 inches in depth, but not anymore. They're like, oh, it doesn't work for the machine, or it's too dangerous or something. So the limit they will cut it down to is 12 inches, which is fine. It totally worked for my projects. So I had them cut that, and that way I didn't have to do it at home, because like I said, do not use table saw. That's not my thing. All right, so when I got home, the first thing that I ended up doing to get the project started was I measured the wall from the ceiling down to the baseboard and got my 2x4s the exact same height of that. And I didn't quite know how to attach them to the wall, because I needed them like not flat against the wall. I wanted him, I don't know, I wanted him at the other angle. And so I'm like, okay, I think I can use my jigsaw and kind of cut holes off on the side so I could drill a screw into the 2x4s into the wall. And it actually worked pretty good. So that was kind of the first step of laying out the 2x4s where I wanted them to be and getting the spacing right. And so I just, like I said, just used the jigsaw to make sure that I could get those 2x4s attached to the wall. I keep looking back at it because I'm like, how did I even make this happen? But I had forgotten that I did add those, like, gosh, it's just the little underlayment board in the background just to kind of give it another dimension, I guess. So I did that first. And Lowe's also cut those for me at 12 inches, which is super nice. I think I just attached those on with like a nail gun, just super easy, just like boom, 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 spaced them out nice and attached it with a nail gun. So they're just kind of stuck up there like that. And then the 2x4s. Okay, so once I got the 2x4s up, it was just like, all I had to do really was cut those little pieces. And yeah, they're 2x2s, just little pieces. And I cut them slightly under the 12 inches. I can measure those and get that depth for you, but I think I cut them at like 11 inches. And so cut a bunch of those, sanded them, making them look nice and cute and pretty. And then those just, I seriously just used the nail gun to nail gun those up, making sure that they were level and straight before I did it. Looking back, maybe it would have been wise to attach them with like a screw. But really, it's holding up very good with just the nail gun. So don't cut corners like I did. Maybe if you were gonna do this, use some screws to attach them. But I didn't want to like pre-drill all the holes. I'm lazy, you know I'm lazy, okay? Let's do this project quick, but hopefully good, I guess. So anyway, I just nail gunned them up and it worked fine. They've been holding like plants and pots and books and they haven't fallen over, so it's working pretty good. Really, I would say the hardest part of these shelves was doing the shelf itself, because I had to make sure they were exactly the width in between the 2x4s. And even though I measured the 2x4s to make sure that they were in the right spot or measured out, the 2x4s aren't exactly perfect, and so there's a little bit of wobble. And anyway, so each shelf that I put on, I had to measure exactly in between the 2x4s to make sure they fit really nice. So that was kind of a pain. But then the way I designed the shelving, the middle shelf is double wide, and so I had to cut out a little section of where that middle 2x4 is, and I used just a jigsaw, and it worked really well. So I just made sure I taped over the plywood in the area that I wanted to cut out. Otherwise it would have been all splintery and kind of crappy. The cut would have been really weird. So that helped to make sure my cut was nice and smooth and didn't have weird splinters and cracks. Anyway, so I just like traced the little leftover 2x4 that I had cut off from originally setting up the 2x4s and used that to mark where I needed to cut out that section. And some of them I had to cut, come in here, measure, see if it fit good, make some adjustments, recut it, and fix it that way. But really came together quite nice. And I don't think I even, I don't think these are even attached on. I just like set them on the 2x2s. So this is such a simple, basic, I mean, I know so many of you are going to be like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? But I really had no plan on how to make this work. I just saw a picture, liked the way they looked in the picture and kind of created it that way. So you can hate on me all you want and get mad. It's fine. But if you're going to do it your way. But this is how I did it. And I really like how it turned out. It's been really fun to like put the plants on there and the books and the ceramics, because I've got 2 girls that do ceramics, and anyway, it's been fun to display their art that way. And it really has added a lot of character to this room and a little bit more color. Alrighty, see ya!